Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, today we are going to continue the gun rights fight. So, The Hill put out an article, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, this one hit my pet peeve button, and we're going to talk about it. It's linked in the description box below, along with the sources which completely debunk the article. But this is incredibly important in the battle for our rights in the Second Amendment and passing it on to the next generation. We have to be up on the fight. We have to be up on the knowledge because I'll be honest with you, we are going up against people who are completely, at best, disingenuous, at worst, manipulative through the words they choose in their articles because it conveys a false narrative, but they didn't actually say it. They just left out important details. And that's why it's so important for us to be up on things. Why on this channel, we hit the details because we can say the why, we can see the details, and debunk all the honest crap that they're throwing out, particularly in this article. Now, it's in the description box below, like I said, but let's dive right in. Again, this is from The Hill, okay? The article, not biased at all, is titled, GOP Indifference to Gun Violence Stifles Action. Yeah, okay. Now let's read a little further. And this is where we're going to tear this apart because this is easy, guys. And this is something that you can share with other people because these are their talking points and we're going to just go to town. Let's get it. All right. If this level of gun violence continues, talking about the gun violence in the United States, the total number of gun deaths through the year could come to more than 40,000. Sadly, there has been little government action to stem the tide of death and destruction. Interesting. What is that number that we were talking about in 2019 that we've been beat over the head with since 2020? Do you guys remember? Let me know in the comments. What's the number before I say it? 40,000. You are correct. We've been beat over the head with the fact that 40,000 gun deaths occurred in the last year, and it's unnecessary, and really only 13,000 of those were homicides and violence. The rest were all accidents or suicides. But that, I digress. But the number was 40,000. If it was 40,000 in 2019, which is what the data shows, I'm showing you on screen right now, how could it be an increase in death and destruction if it's exactly the same? Keep in mind, the quote here is, if the gun violence continues, the total number of gun deaths through the year could come to more than 40,000. Well, it was 40,000 last year. It's the same number. They're trying wordplay. But let's continue because it gets even greater. The epidemic of gun violence may not have galvanized Senate Republicans to action, but it has had an impact on the American people. Okay? Let's keep going. And this is where we get into some manipulative-ish, okay? Almost half of the public sees gun violence as a very big problem, according to a Pew Center Research national poll conducted in April. The only problem that significantly worries Americans more than its healthcare affordability, concern about gun violence is in the same ballpark as the stress about the COVID-19 outbreak, immigration, too soon guys, I wouldn't touch on that one, the size of the federal government deficit, again, I wouldn't touch on that one, $6 trillion in the budget this year by the Biden administration. Come on, progressives, you're better than this. And the size, and violent crime. Well, violent crime is gun crime, so you're kind of doing some wordplay. Now, here's the important part. When I read that article, that paragraph, of course, I was like, well, this is some BS. But interesting, because we actually covered this exact same national poll. Now, notice how they framed it. The Pew Center Research national poll conducted in April, the public sees gun violence as a very big problem. Interesting. So now let's go over to Pew Research. Let's check that out. Because again, we cover that on this channel. What could they be saying? Roughly half of Americans, 53%, favor stricter gun laws, a decline since 2019. A decline. Well, that's interesting because the Hill article didn't say a decline. They just said 50%. Weird. According to an April 2021 survey, smaller shares say these laws are about right, 32%, or should be less strict, 14%. The share of Americans who say gun laws should be stricter has declined from 60% in September of 2019. So the article didn't state, well, it's fallen from 60 and on a decline to 53%. No. We need to highlight the fact that it's only, 53% of the population want stricter laws, not the fact that it's declining. Wordplay and manipulation. Love it. It's so great. But that's why we're here, because we can get in front of this, because we got this. Now, this is not biased at all. All Americans get from GOP leaders are thoughts and prayers after every mass shooting. Talk is cheap. Thoughts and prayers are fine, but they can't reduce the massive body count. Government action at the national, state, and local level is the only thing that will make a real difference to protect the public. Well, that's interesting. Why then, in California, New York, and Illinois, there's still massive centers of gun violence when they have state and local? Falls right in the face of their argument. It doesn't make sense. But they don't go with data, they go with their feelings. Again, cognitive dissonance. It can't be a problem with what I feel and what I believe in my self-identity politics. It's got to be a different problem. It's something else's problem. It's not my problem. It's important. Now, I halfway expected someone on the Democratic, basically candidacy, like in the entire Democratic structure, to write this article. And look who wrote it. Brad Bannon is a Democratic pollster and CEO of Bannon Communications Research. He's also the host of a radio podcast, Deadline DC with Brad Bannon, that airs on Progressive Voices Network. So he's not just a Democrat, he's a progressive. Progressives are far left Democrats. They're the ones that take all the guns, that do everything, mass socialism. Those are progressives. Now, what's really irritating to me is the way this entire thing was framed, and that's why it's important for us. We are going to be up on our facts because this channel is reporting facts as they leak out, and it keeps us at an important point where when they reference sneaky little things like that, we can go, wait a minute, we saw that video. That's not true, and we can spread that out because here's the thing. If people care enough to lie to you and manipulate you, you've got to ask why they're doing it. And the why you're doing it is about control and getting what they want because the facts are not on their side. And that is what we cover on this channel a whole lot. That's what I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comments field below. And until tomorrow, I'm Braden. Stay safe out there.